Yep, after the review comes the spoiler talk, and yes, this is a solid spoiler warning. If you have not seen Logan yet, first of all, why? It's a great movie, go check it out. But hey, I have a spoiler-free review. Feel free to check this one out. But this right here is spoiler talk. You have been warned, disclaimers have been disclaimed, let's do this. Now when I said in my spoiler-free review that this movie felt like a drama and not like a comic book movie, I really meant it. And one of the many reasons why this movie feels so different is the fact that there are hardly any mutants in the film. And even Wolverine and Charles Xavier, they're fading away. Their powers aren't what they used to be. First time we meet Logan, he's a gimp. He gets bullied, attacked, and shot by a group of Mexican gangsters. And you're like, holy shit, he's not healing from that shotgun wound. But yeah, eventually he is, and he pops out his claws, and one of the claws just won't come out all the way. But he slaughters them, and again, it's violent. One of them gets decapitated. I was like, holy shit. That's what I'm in for. That's a different Wolverine, and I love it. And then we get to see Charles Xavier, and it was heartbreaking because Charles Xavier has some form of Alzheimer's. And when we first meet him, he's a little crazy. He doesn't know what the hell's going on. I guess it's because he's still able to read people's minds, and now memories, mind reading, and all of that are out of control, and he really can't put the finger on it if he's actually reading someone's mind, if he's having a memory of something in the past. So he's basically talking nonsense. But that's not all. He is blaming Wolverine for keeping him in a sort of water tower away from everyone. And he's always like, fuck you, Logan. That is heartbreaking because Logan only does it to protect him because he loves him. This is pretty much his father and pretty much the only person he's got left in his life because everyone else is gone. They're dead. But what happened to the X-Men? Well, not only is Charles Xavier's health fading, but he's also dangerous because he has those seizures where he starts freezing people like he used to, but he doesn't just freeze them, he kills them. And during one of those seizures, he actually killed the X-Men. Yeah, you hear it on the radio and you're like, oh shit. The guy who always believed in the X-Men, the guy who formed the X-Men, who brought in Logan, killed them. And he probably doesn't even remember that he did. This is the most tragic situation ever in a comic book movie. I'm telling you, that's just horrible. And when Laura, aka X-23, shows up, naturally Logan is like, no, I can't deal with that bullshit. I can't. I have to take care of Charles. He's the only one I care about. But Charles actually has a couple moments where he's absolutely self-aware and he convinces Logan to help Laura. So they form this bond. It's really interesting because Charles is pretty much a father to Logan and Logan learns to be a father to Laura. That's just beautiful writing. Logan always has to make sure that Charles takes his pills, because if he doesn't, he will have another seizure. And while they're at the hotel, he actually has another seizure. That's the scene from the trailer where Logan comes back, everything's shaking, and he sees that the dicks that are after X-23 are about to kill Charles Xavier, but they're frozen. And this is when Logan massacres them one by one before injecting Charles with the treatment against the seizures, and everyone just drops. I thought that was an amazing scene. And then we sort of get a calm scene because Charles convinces Logan to help this family. On the road, they sort of lost their horses, so they bring him in on their farm. I love the fact that during that scene, Logan even refers to Charles as his dad. That's just amazing. They pretend, they don't tell him that they're mutants. They don't tell him what they're capable of. They're pretty much telling them, yeah, the three of us, we're just having a road trip as a family. And you see those redneck assholes causing trouble for the poor family, so Logan just, disarms them and breaks someone's nose. But before that, he has a talk with Xavier, and Xavier's like, look, this is life. This is what life can be like. This is what I want for you. People loving one another, caring for one another. I thought it was a very touching scene. And then, lo and behold, this other Logan steps into Charles's bedroom, and right there Charles is like, this was one of the best nights in a very, very long time, but I do not deserve it. And he remembers that it was him. He remembers that he killed the X-Men and numerous others. And all of a sudden, that weird-ass looking Logan pops out his claws and stabs Xavier. I was like, what, is that a nightmare? But then you see the son of the Farm family stepping into the room, and that weird-ass Logan kills the kid. I was like, what the hell is going on? So the real Logan comes back home, finds the body of the mom, the kid, and an injured Xavier, and he looks at him, he's like, look, it wasn't me, it wasn't me, it wasn't me, because he wants him to know that if Xavier dies, he wants Xavier to know that it was not him who killed him. Because turns out, the dicks that created X-23 and all those other kids in the movie, yeah, they finally achieved their goal. They did create a perfect clone of Wolverine, and he is just death incarnate. And after Charles dies, we have a great Logan scene where he just goes berserk on the fake Logan, X-24. And even though he stabs him multiple times, he just heals. And when he lashes out at Logan, Logan doesn't heal as quickly. And that straight up reminded me of T-800 versus T-1000. He even goes into the hospital, and turns out the adamantium inside his body is slowly killing him. I still do not know why exactly, but it is killing him. So he actually takes Laura to North Dakota because she believes that there is this safe haven for mutants, like the mutants that were created at the lab, all the other kids, they are already there. And while they go into the woods, Mr. Robot Dick and his entire crew arrive to kill the kids. And this is where Logan's like, okay, one last time I will fight. He injects himself with this sort of medicine that makes him a badass once again, but only for a limited time period, and he goes berserk on everyone. And again, it's beautiful. Him and Laura tag teaming to kill all these assholes, but then they release X-24. And the final battle between X-24 and Logan, it's rough, it's fucked up. He impales him on top of a tree, and this is where X-23 shoots the fake Logan in the face with a bullet of adamantium, killing him. And Logan, he's not gonna heal from that wound. He's holding her hands, realizing that she is kind of his daughter. Tells her that she should not become the weapon that they made her to be, because this is what they did to him. This is what his life was all about, and this is why his life was so fucked. He doesn't want that to happen to her. And before he dies, he actually says, so that's what it feels like. I was like, that's perfect writing for Logan. That's just perfect, heartfelt. And the final scene of the movie is pretty much the funeral of Logan. They bury him, put a cross on top of his grave. Laura walks towards the cross and turns it on its side so it looks like an X, because this is not your typical Christian funeral. This is a reminder of the X-Men. And that's the end of the movie. Well, I love this movie so much. This movie, in my opinion, is a game changer for comic book movies. It goes beyond being a good comic book movie. This is a great drama with real moments, with real feelings, and just brilliant writing. And the perfect farewell to a character that I always loved in comic books, in movies, even in horrible movies like X-Men Origins Wolverine. I always loved the character of Logan, and this is the perfect farewell. It's bittersweet, it's sad, but it's fitting. So with or without spoilers, I loved Logan, and it is probably going to be on my top 10 favorite movie list of 2017. Even though the year is still young, so far this is my favorite movie of the year, and actually one of my top 5 favorite comic book movies of all time. So Logan, I assume that you did see it because you just listened to me spoiling the shit out of this movie. What are your thoughts? Let me know in the comment section below. And thank you guys, as always, for watching. And if you like what you see here and you want to see more, then just subscribe.